Good evening, I'm Courtney Brooks. Welcome to Ask the Specialists. Tonight, we're asking the job specialists on CMU Public Television. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight we are welcoming your questions on the job search or unemployment insurance, and we have guests with us live in studio who are here to answer all those questions that you may have. So thanks again for joining us. Please feel free to give us a call, 1-800-727-9268. You can also send us a tweet to @WCMU_AskThe, or send us a message or write us a post on our Facebook wall, facebook.com/askthespecialists. So again, when you get those questions into us, your experts and your specialists tonight are here, and I'd like you to meet both Kelly and Leanne. Thank you both for being here this evening.
Thank you for asking.
Now, Leanne Hertzler, you are with the Unemployment Insurance Agency out of Saginaw.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of questions you will be able to answer this evening?
I'm open to answering any unemployment questions that you might have, and I'll do my best to give you an accurate answer tonight.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you again for joining us.
You're welcome.
And to your left, we have Kelly Nicholas from Michigan Works. Thank you for being here as well.
Well, thank you. I can answer questions again for job searching, for job seekers, employers. How do they retain employees? How do they recruit employees? How to keep them?
Okay, great. So now's the time to give us a call, 1-800-727-9268. Send us a tweet to @WCMU_AskThe, or go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/askthespecialists. Now, Kelly, you were mentioning that you at Michigan Works assist in the job seeker. How exactly do you assist people finding employment?
Well, our programs are very multifaceted. No matter your age, we have programs for as young as 14 all the way up to, there's no age limit. So someone can walk into a Michigan Works office. We have friendly offices again throughout the entire state of Michigan. I happen to represent 6 of them for Region 7B. But technically, again, Michigan Works offices do similar services no matter where we go. So they can walk into their Michigan Works office. They can call 1-800-285-WORK. And that phone number, again, will direct them to the closest Michigan Works office to them. So if they're a job seeker, they're looking for their first job, maybe they retired and they want something to kind of fulfill their time. Maybe they've been laid off and they're running low on their unemployment and they want to transition to something else. They can walk into a Michigan Works office. The front staff, again, will ask them general questions for them, then point them in the right direction to if they need to work on the computer, to apply online for kinds of careers, or if they actually want to meet one-on-one with a staff member to maybe inquire about training. Maybe they want to go back to school for something. Maybe they want to take some workshops directly in our service centers themselves. Again, they can do that as well.
Okay, wonderful. Now, would you mind listing off a few of your locations that may be in our viewing area?
Right here in Mount Pleasant, again, it's right on Broadway. There's some in Elma. There's some in Midland and Saginaw. I happen to represent 6 of them, like I said. So my 6 offices that I work for are in Harrison, in Standish, in Gladwin, in Prudenville, in West Branch, and in Tawas. Are the 6 that I represent. But like I said, there's a convenient location, and no matter where you live, we're all open again from 9 until 5, Monday through Friday. So there's always somebody that's available to help somebody, again, transition with a question. Or an employer, maybe an employer again, maybe they want to grow and they don't know how to do that. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, you've always wanted to start your own business doing something. Where do I go for that? You can go to Michigan Works. They actually have a business services team there. They can help people, again, fill out the correct paperwork to start the business, maybe help them with their business plan writing. I know the business service team that I work with, again, are actually trained in small business and entrepreneurship, and all different things that the state happens to offer and the federal government happens to offer. So the best thing to do is anytime you have a question that involves workforce, come to Michigan Works. Again, if we don't have the answer, we'll find out who does.
Great, thank you. Now, Leanne, what is the easiest way someone can file an unemployment claim?
Sure, the easiest way to file is right online at our website. It's www.michigan.gov/UIA, and you can file for a regular claim through our online service or for an extension. Another way you can file is at one of our problem resolution offices. If you don't have online access and you'd like to do that at one of our 14 problem resolution offices statewide, you can do so there. And also you can file over the phone at 1-866-500-0017 and pick option number 1 to file.
Perfect. Now, can they call that phone number or go online to find those 14 offices?
They can. If you've already filed, you have a green unemployment booklet, and the problem resolution offices are located on the inside cover. You can go on our website, michigan.gov/UIA, to find them. But a couple main ones are Grand Rapids, Lansing, Detroit, Saginaw, Alpena, Houghton, Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay.
To name a few.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a caller from Central Lake whose son was on unemployment. Looks like he's taking a class one night a week. They cut his benefits because he's only taking one college class a night a week. Do you know how he might be able to get his benefits back, or why these benefits were cut?
One of the things is when you're drawing unemployment benefits, one of the eligibility requirements is that you be available for work during the customary hours your work is performed. So that might be something, depending on what type of work the claimant was involved in, that may have affected his benefits. One thing you can always have a right to do is anytime you receive a decision from the agency, if you disagree with it, you do have 30 days protest rights automatically. To do so, you would want to protest in writing. You can fax or mail that to the agency. You can also create an online web account and ask any questions there as well. Beyond 30 days, you can protest but you would want to explain why your protest was late, and we would have to consider the reason for the lateness to determine if we had jurisdiction to actually re-review that decision on the schooling and the availability or not.
Okay, thank you. Now, Kelly, back for some tips for the job seeker. Do you have any tips specifically for resume writing or workshops available?
Michigan Works offices, we actually have hands-on workshops in all of our different Michigan Works offices, which are free of charge, and they happen all the time. So you have to go there to find out, maybe resume writings on Tuesdays in one county and Wednesdays in another county. So you have to kind of ask. But in the workshops themselves, they're only 45 minutes to an hour long, sometimes a little bit longer, and we'll actually take people through the steps to actually write a resume. Some people now who are applying for unemployment haven't needed a resume. You know, they thought that they would work for life again at a certain employer. They don't know how to write one. And a lot of times nowadays, employers are actually having people apply online. And you need to have that resume. So Michigan Works, again, has staff that can train you, again, one-on-one, sitting at a computer, or in these workshops, where we actually show you examples of what resumes are. Sometimes they're chronological, which means where I worked, what I did, where I worked, what I did. Sometimes they're functional, which lists your skills up front, then the bottom. There's also a brand new website. The Michigan Talent Bank has switched over a little bit and expanded the kind of resources it has to offer. And it's now called MichiganConnect.org. And through that service, you can do different kinds of resumes, different versions of them. You can actually uplink that directly to applications. Employers can find you direct on there. In that, I looked at it before I came on today. There is over 50,000 jobs listed on that website right now. So you can apply directly right there. And they run the gamut from CNAs and secretarial things to engineers to Six Sigma black belts. Michigan Works has an awful lot of array of people that are looking for jobs. And we want to blend that again with the employers, again with the job openings. So no matter your skill level, no matter again your past occupation, or maybe you want to get into some kind of new field, Michigan Connect again is a great resource for that. And there's actually information there too if you wanted to explore different careers. I've always wanted to be an X, Y, Z. Now it's my opportunity to do that. So you actually can find some information again on the website as well.
Okay, so before they come in perhaps for help with their resume, they should compile their past work history and the talents that they have and the duties that they performed at each.
That makes it go much faster. A lot of times people, when they're at work, Courtney, again, the little robots, you know, I went to work again, I did this. I went to work, I did that. And it's all automatic for them. And it's hard for sometimes for people to write down what they did. And sometimes they need a counselor, again, to kind of pull the information out of them and let them brag a little bit. And that's, so they can either do it at home or they can do it actually at the Michigan Works office.
Okay, thank you. Leanne, it looks like we have a caller from Reed City who had workman's compensation due to an at-work injury and was given medicine that said he couldn't operate or drive machinery, but was expected to work and was hospitalized and put on disability, but has not been given any compensation or offered his job back. Can he get help from the agency?
It's possible that someone could be drawing workman's comp and still be eligible for unemployment. It would just depend on if the level of the disability and if they were able to perform work that they had been trained to perform previously or had actually performed previously. So if their workman's comp was for, you know, maybe just one certain type of work that they were unable to do, maybe they need a sit-down desk now. Maybe they were a truck driver and they can't do that anymore, but they can perform seated work. Then it's possible, but we would have to review that.
Okay. If you would mind, can we talk about Marvin for a moment here? What
Sure.
exactly is Marvin?
Marvin is an acronym for an automated system that you actually call into or certify for online to receive your biweekly payments.
Okay.
And it's very simple. You answer a series of questions about eligibility. Are you able, seeking, those types of questions. Did you have any earnings? Did you work? And it's just something that all of our unemployed workers do biweekly to receive their payment so that we can verify they're eligible prior to issuing payment.
Okay, so they need to call every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And when do they start making those phone calls?
They would start making those phone calls typically in the 3rd week of the claim. So if they file the 1st week they need to receive their unemployment benefits, they'll have a Marvin appointment 2 weeks after that filing date or in the 3rd week of the claim.
Okay, so we have a caller from Westland who called Marvin last Tuesday and hasn't gotten the check yet. So perhaps not enough time has passed.
When did he call again, Courtney?
Last Tuesday.
He called last Tuesday. More than a week ago or just this Tuesday? We're not sure.
Not sure.
Okay. Well, typically when you do call in, it takes around 2 to 3 days for payments to be received. There's 2 different ways that payments are issued, either on our Chase debit card or direct deposit, depending on what this individual has selected. But either way, it takes about 2 to 3 days. So if it was this Tuesday, I wouldn't be alarmed yet unless the payment didn't show up tomorrow.
Okay.
But if it was a week ago, what they could do is if they have an online web account with the agency, they could check on that to see if payment's been authorized and maybe on its way and just not hit their bank account yet. Or they can also call Marvin at 1-866-638-3993 and pick option 2 to inquire, and Marvin will tell them the amount and of the most recent payment, so they can find out a couple different ways.
Okay, would you mind saying that number one more time, please?
Yes, Marvin's number is 1-866-638-3993.
Okay, and are there certain times of day that the system is open to receive and answer calls, or is it 24/7?
Marvin is open 8 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Let's see here. We have another caller, this time from Southfield. They are wondering how they can get feedback from a past employer who hired, or not a past employer, but an employer who hired someone else instead of them. The employer said that they were great, but hired someone else. Is there anything that they can do to reach out to that employer? Or do you have any recommendations for this caller?
Did they actually interview with this employer then?
It sounds like it because he said that the employer said that he was great.
Maybe that exact job fit wasn't for him or her. Maybe he was lacking some kind of skill. I probably would send them another resume and to thank them for the interview and maybe reiterate his skills of what he has. Or maybe he's missing some kind of skill level. And that's what I would do is I'd go back into Michigan Works and ask for an on-the-job training contract. On-the-job training contracts are through Michigan Works, and that's when employers again can hire whoever they want to hire for a certain job. So maybe this person again had 10 of the skills but was missing 2 of the skills this employer needed, and the other person again who interviewed had them all exact. And if he really wants to work for that employer or in that kind of industry, through Michigan Works again, the employer again could possibly hire him. Then while he's training on the job, that employer would pay him a wage. Michigan Works would then reimburse that employer for a certain number of hours for up to 50% or more of his wages while he's being trained in that job. It's a win-win situation again for both the employer as well as the job seeker. Because the job seeker may not have the exact exact skills he needs. The employer again has a job he needs filled, and he actually can get reimbursed again for the training wages.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Now, Leanne, we have a follow-up to the last caller.
Okay.
The one who had called Marvin on this past Tuesday. It was actually 9 days ago, and they still have not received their check.
9 days ago. Yeah, I guess the thing I would be curious of is, you know, if there was a lack of work, if there was a layoff at the time of filing, I would, you know, probably want to create an online account to maybe ask a question online or call through to toll-free to our 866-500-0017. Pick option 3 to speak with the operator. But if there was a separation other than a lack of work, those issues we do need to review, such as if there was a voluntary resignation, a termination, a retirement. Those issues all need to be reviewed, and typically it does take longer than 9 days. So if there's something, you know, something that the agency would need to be reviewing prior to payment, it was just a time to certify, make sure you're registered with Michigan Works, make sure you're doing your monthly work searches, and wait for that decision to come in the mail.
Okay, now thank you very much for that answer, and to you for all of your phone calls tonight. We welcome you. Please keep on calling 1-800-727-9268, or if you're online, you can send us a tweet to WCMU_AskThe, or head to facebook.com/AskTheSpecialist. Now, Leanne, we have a lot of questions coming in right now for unemployment, so I have a few more for you before we head on over to you, Kelly, with Michigan Works. We have a couple of people who are on Social Security insurance right now. So this one's from Atlanta. They're on SSI. How will a $1,500 inheritance affect their benefits?
I'd want to review that before I give an answer on that for sure. But typically, things that might affect it are payments authorized by an employer, such as a severance, a vacation pay, holiday pay earnings. So it'd just be something that we'd want to review further.
Okay, great, thank you. Now, this person from Lapeer County is receiving Social Security benefits, and they are currently working. Now, if this person is laid off, will they be able to receive UI benefits?
Okay, they're receiving Social Security benefits and they're laid off.
They're currently working and receiving the benefits.
Okay.
They're wondering if they are laid off, will they be able to receive
as long
unemployment
as they're
insurance
physically
benefits?
able to work and they're not receiving any type of disability payments, Social Security would not affect unemployment benefits. And as long as they're not working full time, they can claim underemployment and still receive unemployment benefits.
Okay. This caller from Rogers City, looks like their individual's employer has passed away. Will he be able to collect UI benefits?
Could you say that again?
Sure. The individual's employer has passed away. They're wondering, will he be able to collect UI benefits? The employer did, in fact, have a UI account number.
I wouldn't see why not, as long as the earnings were sufficient to establish a claim and they do already have an active unemployment account number. I can't think of a reason why that would affect anything.
Okay. I don't know how to exactly phrase this one, but from Gaylord, if they're laid off temporarily and have a return to work date, why do they need to continue looking for work? I'm assuming it's in regards to receiving their benefits.
Right. Just the laws have recently changed, so any new claim or anybody drawing on an extension currently is required to complete a work search, and that's to be seeking work with 2 employers per week. And even if the layoff is short-term, that is a requirement now, and it's just based on a change of the law. So any new claim filed after January 6th of this year, that is a new requirement.
Okay. Now, Kelly, let's head on over to another Michigan Works question. They have a program that reimburses businesses costs associated with training new employees. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That's the on-job. It's one of the different things. One of them is on-the-job training, where an employer again can hire somebody of their choosing, and this person again is usually a person who's laid off. There's some eligibility requirements that are coming into effect, but someone who's laid off and so forth again and would like to go back to work somewhere, they contact Michigan Works. Michigan Works will then put them in touch with the employer. We kind of blend the two things together, and then that employer again would then train that person with their own training ability. Maybe it's a bookwork kind of class, maybe it's more hands-on, and then while that person again is being trained again, they actually get paid, and then Michigan Works would then reimburse that employer for a certain number of hours. There's also incumbent worker training hours as well. So maybe a current employer wishes to train their current work staff in something. They could also possibly get some assistance financial-wise again from Michigan Works to train their current work staff.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kelly. Leanne, a caller from Claire, is asking, if you're drawing unemployment, how many job applications each month do you have to submit to continue receiving benefits?
You would want to seek work with two employers per week, and so if your month is 4 weeks, that would be 8.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Kelly, can you maybe comment on some popular fields, the different areas that people are looking for employees in, some popular ones?
Right now, manufacturing is actually increasing in Michigan. There's different kinds of manufacturing. We right now need a lot of CNC programmers are needed, welders. There's people like in public relations, there's teaching, there's education kinds of things, preschool, different kinds of, Michigan's actually kind of transitioning a little bit. We're kind of getting away from our old way of thinking and so forth. Right now we're very much demand driven at Michigan Works. So as employers come in there and say, hey, I need someone who can do X, Y, Z, we try to again match the two things together. So the job seeker himself again has really having to kind of change their focus a little bit. There's all kinds of different jobs out there. Welding is very popular right now. Anything in healthcare, especially again as they go up north again, it is very tourism based. A lot of the seniors again are moving up there again to retire. So healthcare is a very big area as well.
Okay, wonderful. So welding and healthcare are two areas that are very popular right now. Leanne, another caller asking a question on unemployment insurance. They tried to register online but were unable to get through. They called, it sounds like lots of times, and the lines were full. What are their other options?
Okay, they're trying to register online?
Yes.
I'm not sure if they mean to file a claim or,
Okay.
I guess if they're trying to file a claim and they just can't get through, I would suggest visiting a problem resolution office or creating an online account and asking a question to one of our virtual agents, just like myself, that will give you an answer back online.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Let's see. Do you have any tips for businesses writing new job descriptions or postings, Kelly?
The business services team, people, representatives in each Michigan Works office, goes through specialty training to help people again write job descriptions correctly. They have to be ADA compliant. They have to have certain kinds of criteria on them. And Michigan Works staff again can help the person again go through the right steps again to be able to figure that out.
Okay, great. Thank you. How does someone apply for an unemployment extension?
You can file directly online at www.michigan.gov/UIA, and it's near the bottom of the page, file for an extension. You can also file over the phone with one of our phone agents, 1-866-500-0017.
Okay, great. Kelly, a caller from Elma, is asking if there are any special programs for those looking for jobs for workers aged 55 or more.
There's actually an excellent program called Experience Works. And Experience Works is dealing with folks, again, that are the more mature worker that might have some work experience again in the past. Typically, again, these people might be low income, and they need something again to kind of help them out a little bit, because maybe the Social Security is not quite there yet, they're not old enough yet, or maybe they need some extra income. And Experience Works, again, places people at a job site where they get paid, and they actually can learn some new skills and so forth, and get some current work history, and make excellent contacts, and then they can then transition themselves again into other employment.
Okay, great, thank you. A caller from Waterford, if you wouldn't mind, Leanne, summing this up real quick. When you file a claim through Marvin and they ask you to talk to someone to follow up, the last part of the claim procedure, you have to wait for an agent. He has been trying for weeks and you can never reach an agent, and the machine says there are too many callers and to try back. Is there anything he can do?
I think what he's trying to do, this customer is trying to do, is to call. And our phone lines are extremely busy, and it is challenging to get through. We do know that. So some tips that I would advise are, the most difficult day to get through is any Monday. Our call volume is highest at the beginning of the week, and it does go down as the week goes on. So some of the better times to call would be Thursday or Friday. And we're all human. We always want to get our business done on Monday. We're no different than anybody else, but those are our busiest times. And so I would suggest maybe Thursday, Friday afternoon. Those would be the times I would try to get through if I was attempting to call to speak with an agent.
Wonderful, thank you for that recommendation. I'm afraid we are all out of time for this evening, but again, I would like to thank you both for being here tonight.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, and also thank you to our viewers for tuning in. I'd just like to remind you, you can visit facebook.com/askthespecialist tomorrow if your question was not answered live on our show this evening. Again, we've had Kelly Nicholas from Michigan Works and Leanne Hertzler from Unemployment Insurance Agency. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thanks to you. Thanks to our phone operators for volunteering their time to answer your calls tonight. And we hope you can join us next week for an all-new Ask the Estate Planners. I'm Courtney Brooks. Good night.